Welcome, and good Friday. Yeah, it's a great Friday. Friday, the stock market ends today, at least for the week, right? We don't have any more stock market for this week. We'll be going into Monday. However, I want to welcome you to Money Chat Now, and it's brought to you by Investor Schooling. And you can take a complimentary class by going to investorschooling.com, and you can have me and my partner, Phil Falcone, as your teachers in the stock market. How cool is that? Anyway, I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse, and today we will be discussing the jobs report. United Airlines is making all their workers get vaccinated. Oh boy. Norwegian Cruise Lines and their vaccine mandates. Robinhood stock has actually calmed down. I thought I'd leave it in here today because it's kind of interesting. Dow Jones and the S&P hit new records. The Spirit Airlines debacle this week. SEC proves NASDAQ's plan to boost diversity. And of course, some of my favorite picks all coming up. Let's go into the jobs report. Hey, this was pretty cool. We talked about this yesterday. I said that no matter what the jobs report happened, no matter what happened in the jobs report, it wasn't going to make much of a difference on Wall Street, and it didn't make much of a difference. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but let's talk about the report. So Friday's job report showed that the U.S. economy added 943,000 jobs in July, according to the Labor Department. Economists expected the economy to have added 845,000 jobs, according to estimates from the Dow Jones. Right, the unemployment rate dropped to 5.4%, below the estimate of 5.7%, which is fantastic. So that means that unemployment is kind of normalizing. It's kind of at a normalized level. Now, if you remember a couple of years ago, before the government overreach, before COVID, we had the jobs report in the threes, which was amazing. It had never been so low, but even 5% unemployment is pretty, 5.4% unemployment is pretty good. So that's a great thing to know, and that also will obviously, and as I said, normally that would boost the economy, but I think that normally, that because we are in a situation where, everybody knows that they're just getting rehired, that it's not changing much, and that's why the stock market actually didn't go down, believe it or not, because they're not worried about inflation. Although they're not worried more about inflation, and they're not worried about people not getting jobs. Bars and restaurants and hotels rapidly added workers in July, leading the U.S. to a robust month of employment gains. Government hiring also built up a recent rally as state-run universities and local school districts staffed up ahead of the fall semester. When I read stuff like that, I'm like, okay, well, what happened to the teachers that were there last year? Do we need new teachers now? Or, fine, whatever. Manufacturing and construction added a decent 27,000 jobs and 11,000 jobs, respectively, while transportation and warehousing posted 50,000. So really what's going to happen right now is not much. The jobs report didn't affect much. Of course, there's the big D variant, the Delta variant, that is causing havoc on, and it may actually cause some people to not go to work. It may cause some people to quit their jobs. And that leads me to the next topic. Are you vaccinated? Dun, 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 dun. Because if you're not vaccinated, you're not going to be allowed to work for United Airlines anymore. Wow. I am shocked that they are actually mandating this. So United Airlines is making all their workers get vaccinated. United is telling their employees that they must be vaccinated late September or early November, and they will fire any employee who refuses. I'm shocked. But there's a couple of things in here today that we're going to be talking about that are blowing my mind, and that would certainly be one of them. What they're waiting for, and the reason it's late September or early November, it would be actually late October or early November, is because they're waiting for full approval from the FDA. So they're basically saying, hey, listen, we know that this hasn't been approved by the FDA, so if that's your excuse, we're going to allow you to have that excuse until the FDA approves it. All right, whatever. However, this is interesting to know that, first of all, it's only for the U.S.-based employees, and the pilots all of their pilots are already 90% vaccinated. 90% of their pilots are vaccinated, and the others employees are already 80% vaccinated. So they're not it's not going to be a great stretch, except they do have 67,000 employees. So that is a lot of employees that are still not vaccinated, and they're trying to get vaccinated. Now, here's another thing, too. You've heard this before. We talked about this a few times. We talked about the incentives to getting vaccinated, right? So, like some companies are giving $75, and now they're giving, I think it was Walmart, is giving $150, and, whatever. I got to tell you, sometimes it just amazes me what people are thinking. So here it is. You ready? United Airlines will give you an extra day off if you get vaccinated. At first I read that and I thought, okay, wait, are they giving you the day off to go get vaccinated? It might even be that. It might even be that. They might even be saying, hey, we'll give you the day off to go get vaccinated. I'm assuming that's paid, by the way, but really? Let's go into more vaccine stuff. And this is not a vaccine show. This is a stock market show, but this is what all the news that was today. So Norwegian Cruise Lines takes Florida to court over the vaccine mandate. Here we go again. Now, this is the opposite of normal. The opposite of normal here is that the states and the governors are saying everyone must be mandated, must be vaccinated, right? So they're mandating everybody must be vaccinated. Of course, in Florida, Governor DeSantis is saying, hey, listen, if you want to be vaccinated, be vaccinated. If you don't want to be vaccinated, don't be vaccinated. He's talking about something called the Constitution and American choice, but I'm not going to get into that conversation at the moment. I think you understand what line is being drawn there. In this case, though, Norwegian Cruise Lines is saying that they want everyone vaccinated before they can go on a cruise, and Ron DeSantis is saying no, that's not fair. And if you're going to be docking in Florida, we're not going to allow vaccine passports. It just so happens also that Norwegian Cruise Lines today also had their earnings, and I will tell you that that's how I found this article, is I was looking for their earnings. So they reported a less than narrower loss, and they missed on revenue. They did say that future bookings remain strong as the company plans to require all guests to be vaccinated on its cruises. And then that's how that went over to the other side. By the way, just so you know, their loss per share was $1.93 versus $1.97 expected. Their revenue is $4.37 million versus $10 million expected. Now, I would have thought Norwegian would have tanked because of, going 4.3 versus 10 million. I thought they would have tanked, but they didn't. They actually held out there. Nothing really bad happened with Norwegian. As a matter of fact, if I can see NCLH is their symbol. If I could take a quick look and just let you know that they actually surprisingly finished up today. I mean, just a few cents, but they finished up. Nothing major to the stock. It was fine. So I was very surprised to see that Norwegian just hung in there. All right. So finally, just so you know, the Norwegian Encore is going to be sailing this Saturday from Seattle to Alaska. The cruise operator says it plans to have 40% of its fleet capacity up and running by the end of the third quarter and 75% by the end of the year. And by the end of the second quarter, the cruise line operated $1.4 billion worth of advanced sales tickets. However, 800 million of those was from future cruise credits. So people who had cruises booked, they got credits. It's very odd that I look at that and I see that, and I'm surprised to see that they want to mandate the vaccine. But they can do that. I will protest Norwegian Cruise Lines only because I don't use Norwegian Cruise Lines anyway. I use the other two. I use CCL and RCL, so it really doesn't matter to me. By the way, this is an interesting number too, because I noticed that this number, you'll find this fascinating if you're listening to know what it's costing cruise lines to stay alive. So basically, the company had a monthly average cash burn of $200 million during the quarter, which is higher than the previous rate and higher than the guidance of $190 million. The company expects its daily cash burn in the third quarter to be $285 million. Wow, that's a lot of money that they're burning through. Anyway, we're going to come back in a few minutes and we're going to talk about Robinhood stock.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Felker Cohn and Larry Steinhouse about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend investor schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
Welcome back to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse. We are brought to you by, of course, Investor Schooling, and you can take a complimentary class next Thursday by going to investorschooling.com. And hey, you'll get to learn from me. I'll even be there to teach you. How cool is that? All right, so we've been talking about a couple of things like the jobs report. That was nice. They added 943,000 jobs in July. We also talked about United Airlines making all their workers get vaccinated and how Norwegian Cruise Lines is making all the passengers get vaccinated. I'm amazed that I'm talking about the vaccine on this financial show, but it seems to be pretty important. We're going to be talking about Robinhood stock. We're going to be talking about the Dow Jones and how S&P hit new records, and then we'll be talking about Spirit Airlines. So let's go right into it over here. Let's talk about what's going on with my favorite new stock, which is Robinhood. Now, I settled it's settled down a little bit. Now, it did happen to go up about 5 points today, which is great. I actually thought it was gonna go crazy. Like, I actually had a weird prediction that it was gonna drop to 45 and then hit 60, but it really didn't do that. It actually settled right around, I think it was right around 55, and that's fine. That's fantastic. It's not a big deal. I was looking to buy it below 50, but it didn't happen. So I didn't buy any, but I'm just watching it. I'm fascinated by this. But part of the problem is they're really expecting another crazy ride on this stock because the combinations of calls and puts at the 57 strike price for August 13 are trading at $18. A 57 strike price, the calls and puts are $18. So they're expecting this thing to rock 18 points up or down just to break even on a put or a call like that. So that's insane. So it would have to move by next Friday about 32%. And do I think that's going to happen? I actually think it could. So even if you're not investing in Robinhood stock, and by the way, I would highly recommend no one invest in Robinhood stock. If you want to trade Robinhood stock and you want to jump in and jump out, that's fine. But do not invest in Robinhood stock, at least not now. It's not the time for it. So just so you know, the options started trading on Wednesday, and they're insane numbers. They really are insane numbers. So I just having some fun with Robinhood stock, so I wanted to bring it up. So the Dow Jones, of course, hit new records today. And we had a record today of 35,246 today, which is kind of neat. It's kind of neat to know that the jobs report made that happen. The S&P also rallied today, and it rallied up as high as 4,440, 444. So it was kind of a neat day in the S&P as well. Look, I've said this before, the rally is going to keep going. It's just going to keep going. Look for down days and buy in the Dow Gains. Just wait for the dips and buy the dips, and you're going to be doing fine. We've been buying dips now for, 5 or 6 years, and buying dips has been very, very profitable. And every time we try to predict the day it's going to go down, it never happens. Like, in other words, we think, the Biden effect, the economy, the Trump stuff, everything we kept saying it's going to go down, it's not. Not yet. It's going to happen, but it's not going to happen yet. And since I'm trading stock options, it really doesn't matter to me because I'm looking at a short term anyway. I'm not looking at long-term investments. All right, let's go into Spirit Airlines. I don't know if anybody out there had a plane ticket for Spirit Airlines this week. You definitely had an issue because Spirit Airlines had canceled about 1,800 flights since Saturday, and they had a whole bunch of problems. So first of all, they had staffing shortages, they had bad weather, and they had technology problems. Let's talk about the weather. We all know that there was some crazy weather last week, and that's fine. Airplanes don't fly in crazy weather, and I get it. They don't fly in crazy weather, that's fine. However, part of the problem, too, is they're having staffing shortages. Now, as I read into this, I figured out that it sounds like some people think Spirit is going to strike, And other people just say, look, they're not striking. They're just the fact that they didn't ramp up. They didn't think that the economy was going to come back this fast, this soon. To me, that tells me a lot. It tells me that if Spirit Airlines isn't ready, didn't get themselves ready, that the economy is getting much better, much faster in airlines. Now, I'm investing in American Airlines, AAL, and that to me is a tell. I love that idea that that's a tell, that Spirit Airlines just told me that they didn't expect the economy to go that fast, and if they didn't expect the economy to go that fast, then I guarantee you that the other airlines felt the same way. Look, these airlines definitely talk to each other. They certainly have meetings when they talk to each other about what's going on. I realize that Spirit Airlines is a little tiny airline compared to American Airlines and United Airlines, but at the same time, that's a tell. I've been saying get American Airlines stock, get American Airlines stock, get American Airlines stock. I'm telling you now, it's going to be a great play if you get into it, especially right around where it is now. If I take a look at American Airlines, you might even see real quick, you actually see that it's still below 21. So American Airlines is still below 21, or just barely hovering around 21. And the 3-month high in American Airlines was over 25. So if the 3-month high was over 25, that tells me also I know where it's going. It's going to 25. In fact, in 6 months, it hit in a 6-month period of time, it hit 25 twice. So I know it's where it's going, and I would just hang in there and ride it out. All right, something else came across my desk today, and I'm going to get weird right now. I've already gone into Vexstein, so I'm going to go to the other place now, which is discrimination. So the SEC approved NASDAQ's plan to boost diversity. So I'm trying to think, what the heck does that mean? The SEC approves NASDAQ's plan to boost diversity. So I start to read in this, and I start to read into these articles that are out there, and I'm realizing that the SEC approved NASDAQ's push to require race and gender disclosures in its listing rules. What? The first of its kind proposal would force companies listed on the NASDAQ to meet certain minimum targets for gender and racial diversity of their boards. These rules will allow investors to gain a better understanding of NASDAQ-listed companies' approach to board diversity. This line right here, the first of its kind would force companies listed on the NASDAQ to meet certain minimum targets for gender and racial diversity of their boards. Why? Why are they doing this? Stop it. The best person for the job, black, white, purple, green, man, woman, gender mixed up, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. They're going to be the best person for the job. And on the other side, guess what you're doing? You're actually causing people to not invest in companies because you're listing their diversity. Oh, so you got some jerk out there who's I don't want to call him a white supremacist, but I don't believe that this kind of person should be on this board, doesn't invest in your stock. Leave it alone. They're people. I know that there's people behind there. There's talented people behind there. They're doing a great job. Let them do their great job and let them be talented. And whatever it is. I think it's so backwards, but that's the kind of world we're living in right now. Matter of fact, we're going to go to a commercial right now. Before we go to commercial, I want to explain this commercial because, as you know, we're giving away Phil's car. So actually, Phil's giving away Phil's car. We're not giving away Phil's car. Phil's giving away Phil's car. And if you go to winphilscar.com, you can win Phil's car. So play it.
Hey, if you were listening to Investor Schooling Live today, I'm Phil Falcone, and I made the decision today on air that I'm going to be giving away this car. You want to take a look at it? Let's do it. How would you like to pop your top without ever getting out of the car? Huh? It's pretty cool. You can do it at a red light. You can do it when you see it rainy. You can actually even do it when you're driving, as long as you don't go maybe faster than 10 miles an hour. So I am giving away this car. Why? Is it because I'm crazy? Is it because I'm rich? Is it because of both? Take your pick. I don't care. Let me tell you about the car. We're going to have a contest. We're looking for real estate investors to go to our website and give us a real estate tip. And you can have people that you know vote on the site about which real estate tip is the most quality, most valuable to them. So let's just say that our contest is going to be looking for quality real estate tips and for votes. So you need to get your friends, your family, people who care about you, and real estate investors who are willing to go on the site and vote for it. And I will give you this car.
Let's try that again. Welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm Larry Steinhouse, and sorry about the audio difficulty there. So I just wanted to let you know real quick, something that came across my desk is the fact that Biden administration extends payment pause for student loan borrowers through January. And that basically is a good thing for some of the people who have student loans. You know, many people weren't paying their student loans last year, and it was forgiven. It was just tacked onto the back of the loan. I also believe it might have been interest-free. I don't know. But the fact that people don't have to pay their loans until January is going to be a help for some of these people. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now, one thing you should do is go buy a house right now while your student loan is on pause, because you'll qualify better for your house right now. Anyway, I'm hoping you really enjoy this show. I want to let you know from time to time I own some of the assets and options discussed in this show. The opinions discussed on this show are solely mine. You can tell that. And no one has asked me to discuss them. Thank you for watching Money Chat Now. We look forward to your support, and we want to make sure that you like and share. And by the way, you can find us on YouTube at Investor Schooling, and you can find us on Facebook at Money Chat Now. We'll see you next week.